All right, so I just want to record this just in case you want to look back on how to get your demo actually set up with a customer. Okay, so everyone, I just need everyone to stop doing what you're doing. All eyes on here because it's very simple to do, but it's easy to miss a step. Like if you look away for a second, it's very easy to get lost. You're like, wait, which one is that? The customer demo or the personal demo? Okay, so as you know, yesterday we set up appointments through the Vector Impact app, right? You watched me schedule an appointment with my mom. Then I plugged in my email so this way I can show you guys the process today. So as you see, there's a demo right there with my mom. Now here's the email that I used yesterday, and this is exactly what your customer is going to receive. So you see it says, "Hello, Mom Baker. I look forward to our upcoming appointment." The link has the details right here. All right, so I'm using two different browsers so this way I can show it to you guys. So when I click on this link, it's going to open up the demo. So right now, just so everyone's on the same page as me, we're viewing the customers side of things. So this is exactly what your customers would see. So they're gonna hop on and it's gonna say thank you for joining Mom Baker or whatever your customer's name is. John Baker will join the appointment shortly. So now they have to wait for you to start the appointment. Okay. So now we're gonna go back into ours. So now we're gonna click on our appointment. All right. And remember, we're gonna resume the demo. Now, something also that you need to know when we set this up, you guys should have your Zoom link already on there, right? You can open up Zoom straight from here. You can invite your customer through to your Zoom from there. And if you need to resend the email, it will be there before the demo starts. But since we're already in there, it's going to go away. All right. So we're just going to hit resume demo. All right. And then we're just going to go back up to the very beginning as we do our demo review here. Okay. So this is our manual, like I already showed you guys yesterday in today's training. Okay. Now I'm going to come back to the customer side. Everybody with me? All right. So now we're on the customer side. And now you see this is what popped up. So as soon as I hop on, your customer is going to see this. And it's going to say, let's connect face to face. And then if your customer clicks launch Zoom, it's going to open up their Zoom link. Okay. Now, when we do our presentations with a customer, I want you guys ideally to do them with some type of face to face interaction. Most people use Zoom. The reason why we use Zoom is most people have a Zoom. It's easy to set up, easy to use. And the reason why we do the Zoom is for that face to face interaction, right? Imagine if we did this training where I was just on the phone with you guys. It was just a conference call for a million hours. That would not be fun, right? It's not as engaging. It's not the same. I want you guys to be able to see your customers' reactions. I also want them to be able to see your reactions and your big smile and the smile and nods and all that great stuff. So I want you guys to do it face to face. Not every appointment will be able to get done face to face, right? Because some of you guys mentioned yesterday, like, well, my grandma has a dumb phone. She still has a flip phone, right? So it's like, all right, cool. Those ones you might need to do in person with grandma. All right. And the way that you do it in person, you can just set up your thing. So this way they're just looking at the customer side, you're reading your manual, or maybe you bring over another computer or a tablet for her to look at the appointment from that side. But there is a way to do that. I'll get to that in a second. If your customer didn't receive the Zoom link or they're having trouble with this, they can copy the link and send it over to a different device. Now, if they're already on Zoom, so let's say they're already on Zoom before you're about to start your presentation. So you guys are both on Zoom and they're like, all right, Mrs. Jones, go to your email, click it, and it takes them here. Make sure she clicks proceed. Okay, so does everybody see this small little proceed below? All right, this is really important that your customers click this. So when they click launch Zoom, that just opens up Zoom. All right, we're gonna just minimize Mrs. Jones and just have her on the top corner of your string so that way you can see her face. But they're still gonna need to hit proceed and it's gonna open up this platform. All right, so watch when I hit proceed right here. So now it's gonna say, all right, let's get started, join the presentation. Cool. So to be clear, let me recap that real quick. Your customer is going to have two things open. They're going to have Zoom open, and they're also going to have the presentation open as well. Okay. So they're not all together on one system. That's going to be two separate. All right. Just minimize it or have your customer minimize you just so they can see your face in the corner. And then that way they can focus on this presentation right there. Okay. So it's going to say, welcome, Mom Baker. All right. Now, from your end, this is what you're seeing. All right. So this is where you're going to start building rapport. And you always want to just confirm with your customers. Every couple slides, like, hey, do you see the welcome, the big welcome in the blue? All right, perfect. We're ready to get started. All right. So just say welcome. And then this is where you're going to build rapport. Does anybody remember how long I said to build rapport with a customer? Tell me in the chat box if you know. How long should we take just catching up with everybody before we get started on our demo? Yeah, perfect. All right. So Nilsa, you got it perfectly. 5 to 10 minutes. Monica, 10 to 15 minutes is totally fine. It's gonna depend on the person. However, 10 to 15 minutes might be a little bit too much. Okay. So I don't think you necessarily need to do that. But sometimes you're gonna be talking with people and you're gonna forget, like, oh wait, hey, I need to do a demo. I'm here to present to you. Let's get started. Right. So it's fine if it does go longer, but I would try to keep it around 5 to 10 minutes. Okay. So yeah, you guys nailed that. All right, cool. So build some rapport. And then once again, you want to thank them for seeing your presentation. All right. So again, when we hit the next slide, you see how it automatically changes the customers right here. All right. So every time you do that, it's automatically going to change for the customer. So when we scroll up, you're going to see your customers can download the My Cutco rep right here. You can teach them. Most people don't know this. It's funny. Like I showed my mom this at a restaurant. You know how like a lot of restaurants, their menu is a QR code. I was like, Mom, you can just hover your camera over there and click the link. And she was like, what? She's like, I had a whole QR scanner app and everything. I was like, yeah, Mom, like just use your camera, right? They're called smartphones, right? So you'll probably teach a lot of your customers that they can just hover their camera over there, click the link from there. Or if they're old school, they can just go to mycutcorepapp.com and then make sure they input all your stuff. Then every appointment you do is going to get a meeting number. They'll need that meeting number to access the app. Okay. Then you're going to play the video. All right. This is Mike Monroe. He's going to talk about why we do it like this, talk about, let him know that the security reasons and the privacy and all that stuff. So let him explain that. Always play the video for your customers, just so this way they know why they needed to download this app. Now, remember, iPhone users, there's going to be that extra step, right? Because these apps are just for representatives and customers doing appointments. They don't need to be on the public app store. Androids, you should be fine. People should be able to download it, no problem. But iPhones, we just have it off of there because they have so much traffic on there. So basically, it's a certified app developer. They just need to go to their settings. Then they need to go to general settings, scroll down. You'll see device management pop up. They'll trust it, and then they can download the app from there. All right. So Mike will explain that in that video. Okay. Then we're going to go to our About Me section. So now your customers are going to see this. So this is why I said choose a picture where you look good, right? Make sure your bio is something simple, quick, where they kind of get the gist about you. So they're going to be able to see all that stuff right there on their end. And this is where we're going to share our goals, right? You're going to say, thank you, Mrs. Jones, for helping me hit my goal. Let me tell you a little bit more about myself. I'm going to school for this, or I'm doing this job because of this, and this is what I'm looking at accomplishing. I want to hit my dream job of X, Y, Z. All right. So here's what mine sounded like when I was an 18-year-old. I was like, hey, Mrs. Jones, thank you for taking the time to see me. Let me just tell you a little bit more about myself. Right now, I'm going to school at UCR and RCC for business management. My dream job is to run my own business one day. I don't know what type of business I want to run, but I know I want to be my own boss. Some of my hobbies, I love to ride bikes with my friends. I love to play basketball, and I love traveling. Now, do you mind if I share some of my goals with you, Mr. Jones? Okay, cool. So as you can imagine, most of my friends are pretty lazy, right? They're probably just at home, just I don't know, doing what. But I'm using this as an opportunity to build up my resume and gain some new skills. So I really appreciate you guys seeing my demo. And I'm working with Cutco because this is my first job ever. I've never done a job before, Mrs. Jones. So I'm actually working on my skills. I'm actually naturally a shy person, but I'm doing this job to get out of my comfort zone, work on my communication, and actually pay my way through college. and I just started my fast start contest. My goal is to sell $10,000 over my first 10 days on the job. I know it's a big goal, right? I totally get it. It's a huge goal. But check out how far I've already got it. Right. So if you click on this more section right here, you can share your fast start goal, right? And it'll pop up on your customer screen too. They'll be able to see. Yeah, like my goal right now is to sell 10,000. You see this limo night? My manager's going to take us out to this night of experience. We're going to be with all the top performers. And I think it's going to really be a great chance for me to increase my circle of influence. So through Cutco, also Mrs. Jones, I can earn a President's Club letter. And this will look great on my resume. It's a letter of recommendation from the CEO. And I also have a chance to win an All-American Scholarship to help with school. And Mrs. Baker, since I just started, I'm going to be reading from my manual. Is that okay with you? Oh, great. All right. I really appreciate it. Yeah, like you're like my fourth appointment, right? And just be upfront, be honest with the customer. So that's exactly how that section should look. Did that help anybody just seeing me do it like live like that? Perfect. All right, cool. So now let's go on to the next section. Like I said on the phone, you don't have to buy anything, but if you do see something that you like, you can get it today. Not only would you be getting a great product, but you'd also be helping me out towards my goals. I'm also able to, or also I'm only able to work through referrals. So another one of my goals today is that you like me and Cutco enough to recommend me to some of your friends. And just so you know, Mrs. Jones, Cutco is awesome. All right, you can buy sets, you can buy pieces. We have tons of accessories and gifts. We also do interest-free monthly investment options, so you don't have to pay for it all at once. I'm also able to give you the best deal possible whenever you decide to get it today. And just so I know, do you cook because you have to, like to, or love to? Great. You're gonna love Cutco. All right. So that section shouldn't take you too long. And then now we dive into the product quality video. And you guys, again, this video is awesome. All right. You guys remember this from yesterday? It's awesome. The video does all the work for you. So only thing you need to do here is you need to make sure you're engaged, you're paying attention to your customers, and then you're chiming in at the key points. So the first part of my presentation is to show the short video. A few things to know: these are all real customers. Notice the guarantee. They're in the video at minute 2:05. Isn't that guarantee amazing? Hey, at minute 4:10, have you ever seen a drawer like that before? Minute 6:55, do you ever eat watermelon in the summer? All right. And then when the video finishes, get their takeaways, just like how I do with you guys in training. Hey, Mrs. Jones, what impressed you the most with what you saw? And they're going to tell you the same thing. They're going to be like, oh, the penny cut. Oh, man, that guarantee is insane. Whoa, did you see that butcher knife? What set does that come in? Right. And they're going to ask you questions and you'll be able to tell their level of engagement. And then you always want to read this line right there. And I take my time when I read this line. I want to make sure I enunciate everything that's underlined. So Cutco, Mrs. Jones, is one of the only products that you can buy once, use every day, and never have to replace. Buy once, use every day, never have to replace. All right. And then now this is when we get into our homemaker set. Okay. So now would be a good time to ask me any questions. All right. Feel free to raise your hand, like hit your hand raise button in there if there's anything that you might want me to cover just in that beginning part of the setup or getting the demo rolling. And if we have no questions, that means I am an awesome trainer and I know I'm the best manager in the history of the universe. All right, cool. So if you have any questions, just don't hesitate. All right, feel free to hit the raise your hand button on here or unmute yourself and I'll stop. All right, now would be a good time to do that. Okay, so homemaker set, just like this is where we start building up the value. We let them know that we also have some bigger sets, but this is the set that's our most popular, and it's going to do 100% of the jobs in the kitchen as efficiently as possible. Starts off with your homemaker, and I always just like click around through these slides just so they can see all the pictures that we have for it. And then that's when we go into the names and uses. Now, remember, as we show the videos, we always want to be engaged. We always want to show the videos with passion and enthusiasm. Because here's the thing, here's what sells Cutco, you guys. Passion and enthusiasm. Can you guys tell throughout training I've been pretty passionate? I've been pretty like enthusiastic, right? You're probably still wondering, like, John, how are you still going, dude? Right? Some of you guys are like dead. You're like, oh, I can't take anymore, right? Passion and enthusiasm sells. The definition of a sell is a transfer of enthusiasm from one person to another. Right? That's it. That's what sells anything. Passion and enthusiasm. So when you go through these videos, make sure you have energy. Right? I'm like, hey, Mrs. Jones, I'll give you an example right now. So, Mrs. Jones, here's our paring knife. Do you ever peel apples? Like, check this out. Look how smooth. Have you ever tried this with your knife, Mrs. Jones? Have you ever tried to like peel the apple one smooth swipe? Isn't it crazy hard? All right. Well, with Cutco, you can do it pretty much easy. Like you're gonna just want to do it for fun. You're just gonna want to do it just to try it, Mrs. Jones. So that's our paring knife. And then here's something to write down for your demonstration notes. It's not in the manual, but here's what my best reps do. They always ask their customers like, "Hey, could you see yourself using that knife?" Right. So then now when your customer is like, "Oh yeah, yeah, totally." All right, great. No, let's move on to the next one. Now this is our trimmer. Right? You read everything about the trimmer, you play the video, and a good question to ask is like, hey, what would you use this one for? Right? So it's okay to ask other questions in there. All right. So I want you guys to follow the manual exactly, but I also want you guys to be you. Right. So it's okay to add some emotion to this. Right. Like you guys saw, I told you guys my training is exactly Drew Frank's training, but watching the Drew Frank's training and me, two a little bit different, right? Because I'm being myself. I can't be Drew Frank as much as I want to. I can't be Drew Frank. I only know how to be John Baker, right? So I'm still following his same practices, but I'm being me. All right. That's exactly what I want you guys to do with your demo. Follow the manual, but be you, right? Like if you guys have probably thought of like some clever things to say, you're like, ooh, I noticed that's a Trader Joe's jar right there of mayonnaise. I'm gonna see if Mrs. Jones shops at Trader Joe's, right? So just little things, right? Make it entertaining for yourself as well. Okay, so we're gonna go through all the names and uses. All right, then we show the table knives. Make sure you play the leather cutting video. All right, steak knives, and make sure when we show the steak knives, you always show the sizing. All right, this can be a big difference when your customers see like the size. They're like, "Ooh, those table knives were cool, but we like the feel of a bigger knife." Right? We like the feel of a bigger knife. So sometimes you might actually sell an ultimate set or a signature set. Okay. And then we have our storage options. All right. We have our storage options. So we have a cherry wood block right there. We have the honey oak, whatever matches your cabinets. I like to ask a question right there with Mrs. Jones, like, hey, which color block do you like better, cherry or the honey oak? All right. Now here's one thing you should know with the cherry block. This only comes in the homemaker set or above it. So unfortunately, all of our starter sets don't have the cherry block. So maybe it changes your customer's mind from going from galley set to the homemaker because they're like, oh, well, we want the cherry, but the galley doesn't have the cherry, so we might as well buy the homemaker. All right. So little things like that add up. All right. And then we go over the gadgets. You play each of these videos. Get excited about the videos. Right. Look at the ice cream. Look at the pizza cutter. Show the shears in action, the cheese knife, all that great stuff. All right. So voila. And then we're on our guarantee. All right. And then we want to go over the summary. There's 5 reasons why so many customers choose sets. Cutco sets have the right tools for the right job. Cutco sets have a built-in discount, so it's cheaper. Sets come with a free cutting board and other free stuff. And sets are much safer because they come on a block or a tray. And we have interest-free monthly investment options, so you don't have to pay for it all at once. And then that brings us to where we were at today. We talked about the price comparison, the Wusthof and Shun, and then we dropped down. So we and here's the important part with Wusthof and Shun. We always want to build up the value. All right. We always want to talk great about our competition, right? Because Wusthof and Shun, these are top selling brands in stores. They don't suck at what they do. Cutco's definitely better, right? We crush them in sales every single year. We're the top brand like overall, but these aren't sucky brands. So we don't want to make them come across like they suck. All right, that would be considered lying, right? That's unethical. So we're a very honest company. So just tell them like, yeah, Mr. Jones, Cutco didn't exist, I would buy Wusthof. You know, because here's the thing: if you make Cutco, or sorry, if you make Wusthof or Shun seem like they're crappy, Guess what it makes Cutco look like? Just better crap, you know? So it's like we want to talk good about our competition. Like, yeah, they're good. Like honestly, Mrs. Jones, I would spend $3,000 on a set of knives, right? Because like these are the top brands in stores, right? But then now when we handle the major differences, then they by the end of this they should see like, okay, well, Cutco's definitely much better, right? And then at twice the price, you're talking over $4,000 for a set of Cutco. You want to just say that confidently, smoothly, act like it wasn't a big deal. All right. And then we go over here to our homemaker set. As I said earlier, our homemaker plus 8 says perfect for families that cook 2 to 4 times a week. We have also have sets without the table knives. If you're considering a set of Cutco, which one would you prefer? Sets with the table knives or without? The great thing is it doesn't cost $4,000. In fact, it doesn't even cost as much as Wustaf's price of $3,435. The homemaker plus 8 is $1,326, and that includes shipping. But most of our customers take advantage of our 5-month interest-free easy pay option, which is only $265 today, plus local sales tax. And we have a bonus. If you buy it now, I can give you the entertainer pack, the entire kitchen tool set, or a pair of super shears for free. Now, Mrs. Baker, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask you. Would you like to try out the homemaker set and receive your free gifts? Wait for the answer. If they say yes, congratulations, you're gonna love your new set of Cutco. By the way, do you guys ever entertain or host family occasions? And then this is your opportunity right here to show the larger sets. So if they say, yes, we have family over all the time, or maybe it's like somebody you know, we always do the family things at their house, definitely show them the ultimate set and the signature. Sorry, ultimate set and the signature. And then I always show them everything that comes in it. Now, just curious, by show of hands, does anybody want to learn how to sell an ultimate set on accident? All right, cool. So these sets, like me personally, I don't think I've ever sold an ultimate set on purpose. All right, I've always sold them on accident. All right, and it's because there's 4 types of people who buy these sets. There's 4 types of customers who buy these sets. The first type of customer that buys a set is the person that got a bug. All right, is the person that has a really large family. All right, does anybody know somebody with a really large family? Okay, awesome. So yeah, like I think of AJ Pacheco instantly. I remember when he was in training, his very first appointment was with his mom. She was his number one person, and he did that appointment, and then he showed her the homemaker, and his mom laughed at him. Right? He called and say he was like, "Hey, my mom laughed at the homemaker. She said it's too small." So I was like, "All right, show her the biggest one." And the reason why she laughed, she was like, AJ, that set's way too small for our family. He has 9 brothers and sisters. So can you imagine, right? Like there's only 8 table knives in a homemaker set, right? There's not enough knives for everybody, right? So they have to buy the ultimate set just because their family's so big, right? They buy everything big. They're that family that shops at Costco, just that mountains and mountains of carts just coming out of the store. That's them, all right? The second type of customer who buys these sets is that customer that has to have the best of everything. Does anybody know someone like that? Like they have to have the best of everything. They always like the newest stuff, the biggest stuff. Like, does anybody know someone with like an outrageously huge TV? Right. I think it's funny because my family, I don't know, everyone's buying TVs right now, and it seems like they keep getting bigger. Like my dad just bought a big TV, actually bigger than his big TV. He already had a big TV and it just got bigger. I'm like, why does the TV keep getting bigger? Same thing with my fiance's dad. They have this massive TV and they like good stuff, right? Like I just know, right? Or that friend that you probably know somebody that has to have the new iPhone that comes out every time, like those types of customers, right? Those types of customers like to have the best. They want to get the biggest, so that way they don't have to think about anything else. All right. The third type of customer that buys these sets is that customer that likes to entertain or host family occasions. Does anybody have like a family member that it feels like they always are having a party or they always have people over at their house or you guys celebrate all the family events there? Yeah, those types of people. right? Those people, they kind of like to show off, right? Usually they have like the bigger house of the family, so that's why they invite everybody over there, or they just need the stuff too, right? Like my grandma, she lives by herself, tiny old lady, but she loves to cook. But everybody goes to my grandma's house to cook, right? They always go to her house to cook for like the big family meals. Like when we do Thanksgiving, everyone gathers at my grandma's house and we all just cook there, right? When we have a big birthday party, we go there, cook up at my grandma's house and do everything there. And my grandma upgraded to the ultimate. You remember I told you guys my grandma, she started off with an essential set, but then she's like, you know what? I might as well buy all of them because everybody comes over all the time. So she actually bought the ultimate set for the family. All right, more so for the family. So this way there was enough knives for everybody to use in the household, and everybody had something to cut with, and we just always do so much cooking as a family. So the fourth type of customer that buys this set, this is the one that will surprise most of you guys. It's usually going to be your biggest supporter. So whoever like your biggest supporter in your life, like your mom, your dad, your grandma, your grandpa, oftentimes. And here's the reason why. The reason why they buy the ultimate set is because obviously everybody wants the best, right? Like whenever you go to the store, like you always want the best thing. You can't always get the best thing, but most people want the best thing, right? Now they can actually justify buying the best thing because guess what? They're buying it from you, right? Their niece, their granddaughter, their son, their daughter, right? So it's like a win-win situation, right? Dad's happy because he got the biggest set that Cutco makes, but he's also happy because it's like, hey, he helped his daughter or his granddaughter with a nice size order, and obviously you're gonna get paid on that order, and they can justify it because it's like a win-win. It helps them, it helps them, it helps them, it helps you. All right, now here's the thing I want you guys to realize though: when somebody buys a big order from you, they're not buying it just to help you out. They're not buying it just to help you out. Because Nilsa, when was the last time somebody handed you $2,000 just to help you out? Yeah, exactly. Right, rarely. Right, like I don't never. It's never happened for me. Right. Alex is like all the time. No, but that never happens. No one just is gonna give you $2,000 like, oh, just because I want to help you out. All right, Rosa. Right. So when they buy a set of Cutco, they might say they're doing it to help you out. They're not. They're doing it because they like it, they want it, and you help them justify buying it. All right, because here's the thing: at the end of the day, even if you did sell an ultimate set, yeah, it's gonna be a nice size order. Like if you guys didn't see the ultimate set price, look at that. It's $3,000 for the ultimate set with the steak knives. All right, 2,700, 2,800 with it with the table knife. So it's not a cheap set by any means. However, it's cheaper than the competitions. But when they buy that set, yeah, you're gonna hit your first promotion. You might make like $300, $400 off that order. But guess how long you're gonna have that 300, $400 for Naya? How long are you gonna have that? Maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks. I don't know. But guess how long they're gonna have that ultimate set? Forever. They're gonna have it forever. They only have to buy it once. They can use it every single day. They're never gonna have to replace it, and it's gonna save them money over time. And then guess who else is gonna get this ultimate set? It's gonna get passed down. It's gonna get passed down to the next person, right? They can send it back to the factory, they'll refurbish it, pass it down, and then that person's gonna have Cutco forever. And then it's gonna just recycle. It's gonna stay in the family forever. I have customers that have had Cutco just in their family, the same set for 72 years. Crazy. You can't find anything special like that nowadays. All right. So that's why like when customers buy it, feel good about it. Because honestly, at the end of the day, you lose. You always lose. The customer always wins when you're selling Cutco. I've sold a lot of Cutco. I've never won. All right. I've never won. The customers always win. All right. So just remember that. All right. So that's how you sell the ultimate set on accident. And then the final part of this is just back where we started with training today. I'm not going to go through the whole drop down again because we literally just finished that. But just remember, how do I want you guys to drop down? Tell me in the chat box. It's two things. Drop down. How do I want you guys to drop down? Slowly. Kyle, you're not supposed to answer, man. Kyle's been through like 9,000 trainings. Slowly and enthusiastically. All right, slowly and enthusiastically. I like what Gabriel added, and happily. All right, like smile. All right, so drop down slowly and enthusiastically. Okay. All right, cool. Any questions here?